Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you had a great weekend. It is the month of Adar. It's still a time of joy and happiness and great energy, so make sure you're tapping into it. We have 1 week left before we go into the month of Nisan. So today we're doing the Hayom Yom for the 24th of Adar, specifically the Adar Aleph, the 24th of Adar Aleph. So here's a question. If somebody really doesn't understand Chassidus or anything else, but is there anyways, the question is, should the person giving over still give over if his crowd doesn't understand or the people sitting there really don't understand? And that's what today's Hayom Yom is about. It's actually a really great Hayom Yom, and I was confused in trying to prepare it because the concepts are complicated. But as I was sitting here, all the answers of how complicated this is actually gives me the, what's the right word? I'm excited because I was confused on really how to give this over because of its complication. But I'm also feeling great about it because today's Hayom is telling you that even if you don't understand everything, but you hear it, it means your soul is hearing it, and that's enough to activate your body. There's a trickle-down effect. So here, somebody gives over a mimer or a chassidus or something in shul, or some of these Hayom Yoms or whatever. They're very complicated, and not all of them do we grasp or understand all at the same time. However, the fact that we're hearing them, our soul hears, and then when the soul hears, it passes through the body, and then it creates a reaction within ourselves, and it causes us to want to do good, to do great things, to learn more, just be better people. So the answer to the question is, does it make a difference to listen? The answer is yes. And here's a little bit more before we go into the Hayom Yom. It talks about a story in Daniel, in Tanakh, that says Daniel had a vision. The vision was a very extreme vision. It was enough. It was such an awesome spiritual vision that the people around him, his companions, they couldn't see this vision, but it was enough that it created such a fear in them that they went into hiding. So the question is, if they couldn't understand it, how did that happen? Coming back to what we're talking about here, it says in Daniel, it says their souls felt it. How? It says that their mazel felt the energy of the event. Their mazel. And mazel means their inner luck, if you want to call it that, their inner part of their soul. So when it comes back to the Hayom Yom, we're focusing on the words today of v'noizlim, and v'noizlim comes from the same letters of mazel, and therefore the Hayom Yom is talking about how Reb Hillel Parich, who wanted to give over Chassidus, it's talking about how it works and how it still continues to the soul and it trickles down. So let's read the Hayom Yom inside. I hope that opening worked for you. We'll read it. Again, it's complex. We'll try to address it, and then we'll go to the message of the day. So it says for the 24th of Adar Aleph, Reb Hillel of Parich once asked the Miller Rebbe whether he should teach Chassidus in places where the townsfolk had no conception of Chassidus. So the Miller Rebbe replied as follows. The teachings of Chassidus are heard by the neshama, which is the soul. There is a verse, and there speaks of waters flowing from Lebanon. So it talks about v'noizlim min Lebanon, that there is a flowing, and we talked about the word mazel and v'noizlim. So it says here in the Holy Tongue, the word for Lebanon is spelled Lamed Beis Nun. So it's alluding to, if you take these letters, Lamed Beis Nun, and we do a lot of gematria, a numerical value here, Lamed Beis, first of all, is Lev, which is the 32 paths of Chachma, which is wisdom. And Nun, which is gematria 50, refers to the 50 gates of Bina, understanding within the soul. So it's saying here, if you look at this verse and then look at the word Lebanon, it's referring to that Lev, there's in this one word, you have Lev, which is heart, and you also have Nun, which is the 50 gates of understanding, which is also referring to the mind. So we constantly refer to the brain and the heart and their connections together. And Lebanon or Lebanon has the same effect because it has the words heart and the 50 levels of understanding referring to the brain. Now, moving forward, when the neshama hears a spiritual influence, which it flows down and trickles into the soul and the ray of light that animates the body. So it's saying here, as the body or the soul hears this, it comes through the body and it trickles down this light into the body. And it says, this fortifies one's endeavors to do good by fulfilling the 248 positive commandments and to turn away from evil by observing the 365 prohibitive commandments. It's a big Hayom Yom. It's a complex Hayom Yom. First of all you need to know is that your soul heard it so far. So that's a good thing. And if your soul hears it, it will trickle down and it will light up the parts of your body to do good. To do the 248 positive and also to stay away from the 365 negative. But the Rebbe said something that was very interesting. Although that our soul hears everything and therefore we should be present, and even when something is complicated or we're sitting in shul and there's a difficult mimer or a sikha where somebody's trying to explain to something and you're completely lost, stay there because your soul is listening. But the Rebbe also makes a note here to the people that are giving over. Do your best to explain what you're saying so the crowd also understands it. Because it's one thing that the soul gets it, but it would be awesome, it's even better if there's comprehension from the individual. So as we're giving over any type of chassidus or whatever we're learning and trying to give over, let's make a better effort to try to understand what we're saying and also break it down simple for people to understand, because that will have an awesome effect on the people there. And not only will they have to rely on their soul, but at least they can also channel in and be interactive in that conversation. Have a wonderful day. Have a great and successful week. And this Hayom Yom gave me a lot of inspiration and made me very excited that sometimes even I get frustrated when I don't understand everything. At least I know my soul's intact. So hopefully by you as well. All the best.